On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Chris Maselli, with another episode of the podcast that's dedicated to your Colorado Avalanche. And on today's episode, we will be discussing what everybody seems to be talking about in Avalanche land, and that is this Nathan MacKinnon diet. Why people seem to be going completely overboard with this thing. But it is very interesting. So we will kind of talk about that. We have a season grade to get to with Logan O'Connor. There is an image out there of maybe some new Avalanche uniform, not in full, but some minor details to the Avalanche uniform. I don't know if it was supposed to get out there, but it is. So we'll talk about that. And I had mentioned a poll that I had put up. It's like an Olympic question that's always fun to kind of talk about. So I'll mention that, talk about that. But first things first, follow the show on social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Send questions, concerns, opinions to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com. And thank you to the people joining on YouTube. Yes, we have a YouTube channel now. So definitely follow that, subscribe to that. Just go to YouTube, search Locked On Avalanche, and there we are. So if you like your podcast in video form, by all means, check it out on YouTube. All right. So, and like I said, this is the slow time of the year for at the NHL and the Avalanche and really every single team. So when something gets out at this point in the season or the off season, it really tends to get blown up. I don't want to say out of proportion, but maybe we're dwelling on this a little bit longer than normal because there's nothing to take its place. And right now it is definitely Nathan MacKinnon's diet and workout regimen and kind of his attitude. So I'm sure you have heard about this. If for some reason you haven't, Nikita Zadorov went on I don't know if it was a radio show. I'm trying to find if it was a radio show or a podcast or something in Russia. And I'll kind of read through some of the stuff and then, kind of break some of these things down. First of all, it is interesting. It's always interesting to see athletes and kind of why they're on another level than us, people who just maybe play sport for fun. But you have some people that are like Nathan MacKinnon. I would say most of the people are like Nathan MacKinnon. This stuff, he just doesn't get out there that much. So Zadorov said, he goes, I saw the progression in Nate's game. He's such a pro. He has a dietitian. He pays $50,000 a year. He has a live-in doctor/physiotherapist in his house during the season that he pays $1,000 a day. In addition, he rents an apartment. He has his own chef who he pays another $100,000 a year. He simply invests in himself and his own body so he can play at the highest level. He's crazy that way. He eats right. He doesn't drink. He only drinks water. 2 years ago in Colorado, he got rid of all of the pop ice cream and desserts. He got rid of them from the dressing room and pregame meals. And this is the thing that everybody's latching on. He got rid of white sauce, carbonara sauce, for pasta. He replaced actual pasta with chickpea pasta, which has more protein in it. And then he goes into how he changed the dynamic of the team. He turned the team around in having a losing mentality into a winning mentality. And he says he made pros out of our entire Colorado team. It's one of the reasons why Colorado got such an improvement in performance over the last couple of years. And he kind of laid into him, said, if you guys want to eat crap, you can do that in the off season. While you're here, you're going to, do things the right way. And it seems like people bought into that. He compares him to Michael Jordan, not in the, in the accomplishment dynamic, but, Jordan was a jerk. If you were going to play on Jordan's team, you were going to excel and you were going to give every inch that you had. And that's kind of what he equates MacKinnon to. Says he's always the hardest working guy, comes out 30 minutes before practice, constantly working on his hands. If you miss a pass, and this is what I like, if you miss a pass in practice, he would skate over and literally scream at you. You can't pass him the puck without hitting his stick. We had young players come over during the playoffs. If the puck ends up in his skates, he's not even his skates. If it misses his stick by a tiny bit, like 15 centimeters in front of the blade of his stick, he doesn't move his stick to catch the puck. He stops everything, turns around, slaps the puck back at you. He's not going to try and receive any puck he doesn't like during practice, just to show you that you made a you-know-what pass. So he demands excellence in practice. And I get it in practice. Like he's not going to go for something that he doesn't think is perfect in practice. You always hear it's not practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. That's something I learned a long time ago. But everything about this guy is hockey. There's some guys that, they just have God-given ability. He's definitely one of them. But what do you do with that God-given ability? Do you just go with the flow, know you're better than everybody else out there, and don't really put in the extra time and extra effort? You maybe can still make it to a certain level, but you're going to hit a wall where people are going to start passing you. Nathan MacKinnon is making sure nobody passes him. Right down to his diet. Doesn't surprise me that he pays specific people to work for him and pay them this amount of money. A lot of professional guys do this. A lot of them do. It just doesn't get out. I don't know if Nathan MacKinnon is happy that this got out. We haven't heard anything from him that it actually did. But, it's when you want to be the best, you have to do stuff like this. And if you saw Peter Ball from The Athletic, if you subscribe to them, he had a really good article when MacKinnon was in prep school and how he was a perfectionist then. So if you followed Nathan MacKinnon and his career and how he plays, this isn't a surprise. He wants excellence all the time during the season. Is he having fun? Yeah, I think he's having some fun, but that comes secondary. This is literally this is his job. This is his job. It's not just a sport. And he demands excellence from everybody that's on his team, and that makes you better. Now, some people are saying like this is a good example of why he's not a captain, because guys like that, you're not going to get along with everybody on the team when you act like this, but they will respect you. But it's not like he's getting, winning in over any best friends, but he's not looking for them. So I think I saw a comment, and I have no idea who put it out there on Twitter. And they said, this is kind of the reason why I think Gabe Landeskog is a good captain, because he can kind of, if MacKinnon's getting a little bit too over the top with this stuff, he can kind of like bring him back down to earth just a little bit. And that's a good like yin and yang for the Avalanche to have Landeskog that kind of like, yeah, Landeskog demands stuff from people. But you just seem like Landeskog's having maybe, I guess, a little bit more fun than MacKinnon is. MacKinnon is excellence all the time. If you haven't heard of the philosophy of, if you want to be, I guess, a perfectionist in anything, you need to do 10,000 hours of it. And that's true for, the best of the best. Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, even Michael Jordan, those guys put in minimally 10,000 hours. And that goes for anything. That's not just sports. If you want to be a artist or something, and you're a horrible artist, if you commit 10,000 hours to something, you will be an expert in that. So that's the Nathan MacKinnon attitude. It doesn't surprise me that he is this way. There's many other guys in the league that are like this. And if, a teammate does an interview somewhere, you'll probably hear more people like this. You'll probably hear, not day in and day out, but you'll hear some guys maybe being interviewed saying like, oh, did you hear about that Nathan MacKinnon diet? And they'll probably come out and say like, well, I know this guy that does that. He does something similar. So it's the difference between good and great. And Nathan MacKinnon, no surprise, wants to be great. He eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey. And for me, I am more than thrilled that he is doing it wearing an Avalanche jersey, because that's what you want one of your leaders of the team to do. The pasta thing, it's funny. I've had chickpea pasta. I like it. It has a different taste and a different texture. It's a little bit harder than regular pasta. But people seem to be jumping on that. I think it's funny. But it again, nothing about what I read there is surprising. And Nathan MacKinnon will be this way until he wins a championship. And then after he wins a championship, he'll probably do it even harder, because one's not going to be enough for him. So I thought it was funny that people are kind of jumping on this, and some people are just think something's wrong with him. Like, that's a professional athlete, people. You need that. You don't get there just by not doing something. Is that, I don't want to say that's even over the top. It's not over the top to me. But when you're in position to be able to hire people like that, you do it. So, all right. Who do we got today? We have Bet Online, and then what are we going to get to next? I think we have our season grade for Logan O'Connor, so we'll do that. Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your sports action. Baseball season in full swing. As I am recording this, the Hall of Fame game, which is maybe the worst football game of the season, is being played. But it is being played, which means football is right around the corner, and that's always some big action in the betting world. So you can get all the latest news, odds, and info for all of your sporting needs, including baseball, basketball, hockey, and UFC. Sorry, I did have a cold the past couple of days, which is why I didn't do a show on Wednesday. So I apologize for the clearing of the throat. Before the next pitch, head over to Bet Online on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. This is your chance to get into the game as teams prep and make their playoff runs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus when you use the promo code LOCKEDON. That comes with your first deposit. Bet Online, your online sports book experts. All right. So Logan O'Connor, giving him his season grade. Let me bring it up here. I was a little surprised with how this turned out. Excuse me. Because, all right, we have 13% for an A, 68% for a B, and 18% for a C. Nobody voted D or F, which I'm happy for that. I was surprised it was as skewed as it was in the B range. And I wish I had a few people comment, and I definitely will get to them. But I was hoping I get a little bit more in the comment section of why people were voting B. Because I'm not saying like he didn't have a bad year. I think O'Connor, is on the cusp. I remember going into last season, I had made a comment about Andrei Buyalsky kind of like having a season that to really hang his hat on. Maybe he would come out being a guy that would really kind of like not take people by surprise, because people expect a lot from him. I think going into next year, Logan O'Connor, if he's given the opportunity, which I think he should be, could be that guy that wows a lot more people. But he needs that opportunity. He needs to be, given a role day in and day out. I think he's there. I think he's earned it. He deserves it. But from, what did he play? Let me get to his stats here. He did like 20 something games, I think 22 games. He was exciting. He's a fast skater. He's a good skater. I like his game. I really hope they give him more of a role next year. Again, I think it's trending towards that. But in 22 games, 3 goals and 2 assists. So, 5 points in 22 games, does that warrant a B on the season? Not for me, and not to say like C is not a bad grade. C is kind of like what was expected of you. I think the only bad grade here is obviously are D's and F's. A is you are, one of the best on the team. B, I would say you exceeded expectations. C is you came in at expectations. And I really don't know what the expectations were for Logan O'Connor. I think some people obviously probably had higher expectations from him, but I think he did what you kind of expected him to do last year. And enough where you're looking at him like I am. Next year, I really am looking forward to seeing him play, given a bigger role, if he gets that. So, and what did he do in the playoffs? He had a couple points in the playoffs. No, he didn't. I thought he did. How about that? So the year before he had in 19 and 20, he had an assist. Why did I think he had more than that in the playoffs? Let me double check this. Because no, he just played 2 games against Vegas. That was it. So I like his game. I really like his game. And I'm glad his name kind of gets thrown in there for like a trade piece every once in a while, because I think other teams know. I think other teams know what they could get in him, and they want to pluck him out of the Avalanche before he really hits his stride. And I'm happy for the Avalanche to say like, no, we're not going to do that, because we know what we have in this guy, and we're going to let him develop under our name and not yours. So I'm happy the Avalanche did that, because yeah, he's one of those guys that always seems to be in trade talks. So for comments, we have Rebecca, who says O'Connor is exactly the type of 3rd or 4th line player that we need. Incredible speed, good physicality, incessant forechecking, and infectious energy. I give him an A+. Wow. Effort is a huge part of the game, and he brings it every night. I'd like to see him and Val on the line together. Rebecca's going off of effort and energy, and I can't deny that. If you're going off of that, give him an A. If you're bringing everything into consideration, then, I would lower the lower the grade a little bit more. But she puts a lot of effort, or a lot of emphasis on the effort, which is why she gives him an A+. If that's your metric, yeah, I wouldn't argue that. But she makes good points about what he can bring to this team. The Avalanche, questions going in this year about the depth. They had that last year. They should have good depth, but we got a lot of new guys on this team. So a lot of new guys in terms of the depth department. He's not one of them. He's used to this team. So maybe this, he's had enough years with them where now he's comfortable. Yeah, I agree with her. He could be what they need on that 3rd and 4th line. Is he the new Matt Calvert? It's got like a motor that doesn't stop. Could be in some ways. So we shall see. Jordan at AbsFan2909. LOC gets a B- from me. I think he got a well-rounded skill set. I like what he brings to the lineup. He plays with a ton of energy and has a bit of a physical edge to his game and fits in well offensively. In my opinion, he's an X factor type of player who can make that necessary play. In a game to be a difference maker. I also think he's a good skater, decent speed. Jordan, he's got phenomenal speed. Sometimes surprises me with how fast he really is. Yes. I'm looking forward to him being a full-time player next season. Yep, I agree with that. And I will always go back to what Connor McGahey said when he was on here, and we were talking about guys who have been surprising so far. We talked to them like halfway through the season, and O'Connor was on there, and he said it. He's like, sometimes when I'm calling a game, he looks like he has number 29 on his back. And it's true. And it fooled me a couple times too. Like, oh, there goes MacKinnon. Nope, that's not MacKinnon. He's got great speed. And then Nick Bichelle says, I give Logan a C just because I would have loved to see a bigger sample size. The guy shows promise. He definitely has what it takes. You never really have to worry when he's on the ice because he can get the puck where it needs to go. Would love to see a full season of him. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. I think we're all, he could be that guy that really takes the next step. And when we're doing these season grades after next season, we could be talking about that. Could be talking about Logan O'Connor being like, when we're handing out grades, who was the most improved. I would have every reason to believe that it's Logan O'Connor. So, but I overwhelming B, which was a little bit surprising to me. And again, I'm not giving him a C because I don't think he had a good season. I think he did what I expected him to do this year. Let's reassess for next year. But I do expect him to have a much bigger role with this team for the next season. All right. We are going to hear from Rock Auto and Built Bar and then get into maybe New Jersey's, which I have to find somewhere, but I got them. And then the Olympic question. So first, rockauto.com. With the ever-increasing number of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts that you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing only the brands that their warehouse happens to carry? You have a computer with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. It's a family-run business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. And the prices are reliably low for every customer. Go explore their easy-to-use website and find the solution to your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Right Locked On in the How Did You Hear About Us section so they know that we sent you to them. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Also brought to you by Built Bar, and it is the best tasting protein bar on the market, and they have some of the best tasting flavors around. Everybody has their favorite, and you can pick yours between flavors such as German chocolate, cookies and cream, salted caramel, double chocolate, mint brownie. So many to choose from. And if you can't choose, you can get a mixed box where you will get 2 of each of 9 flavors to choose from. So not only are Built Bar flavors the best tasting, but they are healthy too. 17 to 18 grams of protein. Calories range from 130 to 180. 4 to 5 grams of sugar. 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. Amazing flavor. All tasty and all healthy. And Built Bar is the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team. Go to BuiltBar.com right now. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and you will get 15% off of your order. Once again, the promo code is LOCKED15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com. So an image went up and made the rounds on social media of the Avalanche third round pick, Buyalsky, who put in, there was like 4 images of him and another player that I think he's going to college with, or maybe was going to another college. I don't know. But one of in the images, he's wearing Avalanche gear. And in one of them, the picture is of the back of his jersey, which has his name, and then the number 21, which is kind of annoying people because it doesn't have like, it doesn't denote like the year 2021. It's just a 21. So people are kind of a little bit put off by that because of the Peter Forsberg situation, but it's 2021. I'm not going to get hung up on that. But what is different about this is the numbers themselves. They are, I don't have it. The numbers themselves are blue. They're blue with the burgundy outline. So they've changed the uniform again just a little bit to kind of go in line more with the pants and the helmet, so it doesn't look like off so much. What really grew on me, and the shoulders are burgundy. They still have the Colorado C, but and this is for the away ones. I don't know what the home ones look like. So there's less blue in here and there's more of the burgundy with the numbers. Well, the numbers on the sleeve are still white, but the numbers on the back are blue with the outline of the burgundy. I think they look good. I like them. I like this. I liked last year's. Call me crazy, but I liked last year's. Where's my, I don't have it around. It's somewhere. I was going to get my Gerard one, but another year, another jersey to spend a lot of money on for me anyway. But some people don't like this. Some people don't like what are the pants for this going to look like? Are they going to be blue still? Are they going to change it to burgundy with the pants to match the burgundy in this uniform? I don't really know, but I'm a fan. Sorry, I am a fan of this. And what does the home jersey look like? Is that changing at all? I don't know. And was this supposed to get out? I don't know if no offense to Buyalsky, but I don't think the third round pick in this most recent draft, they were, depending on him to be the guy to release a new jersey. So we shall see. Well, let me know. What do you think? You hate it? Some people don't really like this. I do. All right. And finally, the poll that I wanted to get to, and I'm scrolling through to bring it up. All right. So I asked the question because we're in the Olympics and initially it was for team sports, but I guess you could really do it for any sports, but have the team sport mentality. Just think like basketball, Olympics for basketball. And the question was, would you rather lose in the gold medal game to claim the silver or win in the consolation game to claim the bronze? And the reasoning behind that is if you lose in the gold medal game, you are losing to get a silver medal. So that final game, you're not very happy because you've lost the gold medal, you've obtained the silver medal. So when you do the ceremony, which is like immediately after, you're kind of annoyed. You're kind of annoyed and you have the silver medal. You're not celebrating with your team after losing the gold medal game. You are celebrating with your team if you win the consolation game for bronze. And you've won something. And if you lose that, you get nothing. So would you rather have the silver medal? And for me, it's like that feeling will never go away. If you have the silver medal and you bring it home and 20 years from now, you look at that silver medal and your thinking is, I lost to get that. This goes back to the 10,000 hours thing. All the time you put in and you lost. Now you could say, oh, you put all that money in and all you did is win bronze, you win third. But I think it's just the lasting impression that you had for a bronze is a win. It's not the one you wanted. I get it, but it's still a win. And at the end of that game, you are celebrating. You're going to that medal ceremony happy because you won. You're not going to that medal ceremony happy because you lost and you settled for a silver. Even though a silver is better than a bronze, it's how you obtained it that will stick with you, in my opinion. And losing to get that silver will stick with you much longer than the excitement of winning a game to get a bronze medal. People aren't thinking like me because 70% said lose for the silver, while only 30% said win for the bronze. But I had one comment, Bryn5XOX said, win for the bronze because it's a win. Silver isn't won. It's given because gold was lost. In my mind, silver in game events is the consolation prize. I kind of agree with her. You haven't won that silver medal. You've lost that silver medal, if that makes any sense. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have silver. I mean, think about it for swimming. If you're doing a swimming event and you come in second, that's just by like a fingernail. You are ticked off that you just lost by a fingernail. Now, if you win just by a fingernail to get bronze, that's an achievement because you were a fingernail away of winning absolutely nothing. So is a bronze medal better than a silver medal? That's a debate to have. Tell me why I'm wrong. I really want to hear why I'm wrong on this, because it's so odd to say it. I'd rather have a bronze medal because it's an achievement. Or obviously you want the gold. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not saying I don't want a gold medal. You want the gold because you can say you're the best of the best. But when you have a bronze, it means you've made an achievement that if you didn't get that, you would have had zilch. Let me know. It's an interesting debate to have. I was asking people all weekend, and when they really thought about it, they're like, wow, that's a really good question. I still think I would want silver. And I'm like, well, but you lost to get that silver. They're like, yeah, but it's a silver. I'm like, okay. Would I be happy to have a silver? Sure. But do I ever want any medal in a Olympic event in my entire life? Would love one. It's never going to happen. But if I can't get gold, I think I would want bronze for my own mentality, because I won that bronze. Let me know what you think. LockedOnAvalanche@gmail.com, or yell at me on Twitter. Tell me why I'm wrong, I guess. I don't know. All right. That's going to be it for today and this week. We will be back on Monday with any news that might be happening for the Colorado Avalanche Hockey Club. So thank you for tuning in if you're on YouTube or on your app of choice. It's always appreciated, and it's good that this offseason is short so we can get back to hockey pretty quickly. So that's going to be it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I always appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Here's Joby.